Ireland are chasing a Grand Slam on Paddy's weekend as England look to spoil their party. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. This is the final game of the Six Nations on Super Saturday. It's Ireland versus England, Saturday 18th of March at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Kickoff is 5 p.m. GMT. Okay, the last six between these teams in the Six Nations: 2022, England 15, Ireland 32. 2021, Ireland 32, England 18. 2020, England 24, Ireland 12. 2019, Ireland 20, England 32. 2018, England 15, Ireland 24. 2017, Ireland 13, England 9. Okay, so, and anybody interested, I know some people will be looking for, what's the record score. The record margin of victory for Ireland, I believe, was in 2007 when they played at Croke Park. That was 43-13, so a 30-point winning margin. Personally, I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to that. I think that game against France was a bit of an aberration for England. And, I'm worried that 2019 is going to come back and we're going to get something like that where Ireland are on the top and suddenly England come along and absolutely smash them with Tuilagi in the team. Okay, anyway, on to the odds. Ireland is 7-1 on favourites, so the bookies certainly don't believe that's going to happen. England 7-1 and the draw is 50-1. Okay, now let's have a look at the team, starting with Ireland. So fullback is Hugo Keenan. One of the players of the tournament, got to be up there for that award, especially if he delivers on Saturday. Right wing is Mac Hansen. Robbie Henshaw comes back into the starting team at 13. He partners Bundy Aki, who's at 12. James Lowe on the left wing. Halfbacks then, Johnny Sexton continues at 10. Jameson Gibson Park returns to the starting team. The pack then, Andrew Porter at loosehead, Dan Sheehan was recovered to start at hooker. Tyke Furlong continues at tight head. Second row, Ryan Baird comes up from the bench to start alongside James Ryan, and the back row is unchanged: Peter O'Mahony, Josh Van der Fleer and Caelan Doris. The replacements then, Rob Herring comes onto the bench. Keane Healy is there as replacement, apparently, hooker and prop. Tom O'Toole is there as well. Kieran Treadwell comes onto the bench. Jack Conan keeps his spot on the bench. Conor Murray drops down to the bench. Ross Byrne retains his place, and Jimmy O'Brien comes into the squad at number 23. So England team then, fullback is Freddie Stewart. Right wing, Anthony Watson. Centres are Henry Slade and Manu Tuilagi. The left wing sees Henry Arundel, get a start. Owen Farrell is preferred at 10. Jack Van Plorfleet continues at 9. Into the pack then, front row stays the same: Ellis Genge, James George and Kyle Sinclair. The second row, Maro Toji, is now partnered by David Ribbons, who comes up from the bench. Back row stays the same: Lewis Ludlam, Jack Willis and Alex Dombrant. Onto the bench then, Jack Walker, Makabu Napola, Dan Cole, Nick Sikwe, Ben Curry, Alex Mitchell, Marcus Smith and Joe Marchant comes into the squad. In terms of caps then, in the backs, Ireland are from 303 to England's 302, so can't get tighter than that. Forwards 363 to 300. Ireland's starting team then has 666 caps. So if you're anyway superstitious, maybe that's a bad omen for you. Luckily I'm not, but I am very nervous about the game. England have 602, so very close between the starting teams. Bench then, Ireland have 335 caps to bring on to England's 234, so two fairly strong benches. Totals 1,001 caps for Ireland to England's 836. Okay, now in terms of Ireland, Henderson, Ringrose and Kelleher are all out injured. So Henderson had a broken forearm. Ringrose was concussed. He obviously went off on the stretcher. Luckily, he was up and talking, not long after, and then he was involved in meetings during the week, but obviously there was no way he was going to play this weekend. Kelleher, apparently it's a recurrence of the injury where he lost power in his arm. That happened to him, like he'd only just come back from injury, so it's a recurrence of the same injury. And he actually stayed on the pitch after halftime for 8 minutes, because on the sidelines, the coaches were going through what Keane Healy needed to do when he come on. So he had to play on with one arm until he was ready to come on. Ryan Baird and Robbie Henshaw come into the starting team. So Baird obviously in the second row, and Henshaw partnering his old Connacht mate Bundy Aki in the centres. Then Rob Herring, Treadwell and O'Brien all come on to the bench. So some decent players come in. Herring, very accurate in his darts. Good in the scrum as well. Won't give you the same as Kelleher around the park, but still he's not a bad backup to have. Treadwell has been in really good form for Ulster recently, so expect him to have impact when he comes on as well. O'Brien can cover a number of positions across the back line there, so hopefully he comes on as a tactical sub rather than us losing more players to injury, but at least he has that ability to cover numerous positions. Ireland are trying to win a Grand Slam at home for the first time in the Six Nations era. They did win like one years and years ago, their very first Grand Slam was they won at home. But since the Six Nations come in, both Grand Slams they've won in that era have been away from home. It would be only Ireland's fourth Grand Slam in their history. So, Grand Slams really are precious in Ireland, and this team won't want to let this one slip. Furlong, he was kind of talking during the press during the week and saying that they're going to play the game rather than the occasion, and just focus on what they need to do and what targets they need to hit. And then if all that comes together, the results should follow, and then the Grand Slam should follow that as well, as long as they do the job properly. It was strange as well, just with England coming to Dublin, that a lot of people were talking about them going for performance rather than a win. And it's really strange for me. It's the first time I've ever known, pundits in England to be talking about England not winning against Ireland, not even like a chance of winning as far as they're concerned. So a bit strange there. There's a lot of talk, though, about expecting a big reaction from England. That could lead to them surprising Ireland, especially if they get out ahead early. And, with the likes of Arundel there in the team, anything can really happen for them. So Ireland have to be so cautious about that and have to be able to respond as well if they go behind. But, for Healy, he should be coming on as a prop this time, and Van der Pleer shouldn't have to do the throw-ins to the line-out. So fingers crossed on that. This is also going to be Johnny Sexton's last competitive fixture in the Aviva. There will be some workup warm-ups and stuff there, but, in terms of a real blood and guts test, this will be the last one for him in Dublin. At least it seems so. There was a lot of hints at it being his last. The thing is, so much went wrong for them last week in terms of injuries and the way players had to adapt, but they really reveled in the adversity, and they were talking about how, players are kind of laughing at the absurdity of the situation at halftime, and really just got down got down to things, got things done. As a fan, I'd like to be much smoother this week, please, because I'm already super nervous about the game. So I don't need players getting injured or getting sent off or anything like that. So let's hopefully have a nice, normal game, and hopefully Ireland play to their best. But one thing you can be sure of, there are going to be no official Grand Slam T-shirts printed before the game. It was, I can't remember what year it was, but Nike were England's sponsor, and they printed these Grand Slam T-shirts before the game in Dublin happened, and then Ireland went on to beat England. So hopefully we don't do anything stupid like that and tempt fate. And on to England, though. MacLeod, he's back after the red card he'd received in the Premiership, so that suspension is done, so he's available again. Owen Farrell is preferred to start over Marcus Smith, so Smith is on the bench. I think that was the right call. I know, last week wasn't Smith's fault, but I think Farrell being on the pitch is important because they did miss his leadership last time. Genge, as captain, was very poor, I felt. And I was actually watching when he was going off at half time. He was trying to get a point across to the referee and was very abrasive with him. And the referee wasn't taking any of it and basically sent him like a naughty schoolboy to his dressing room. So I think Farrell being back for the leadership is a good thing for England. And Smith can have a big impact off the bench. Anthony Watson switches to the right wing because Arundel is starting in the left. Arundel, if you haven't seen him before, this guy's electric. Expect him to cause Ireland problems, and I think he's one of the few players for England. Like, if he does get in behind, he is going to finish, and he's got that kind of ability to just slalom through your entire team, similar to what's his name? Jordan Larmour for Ireland. He's got just that lovely step, but he's also very pacey as well. So, he might produce a moment of magic in the game. Again, and as an Ireland fan, I'm hoping not. Dave Ribbans, he comes in for Chesham, who's out of the squad. So he partners Itoje in the second row, and Nick Sikwe comes onto the bench. Sikwe kind of in and out of the squad through the Six Nations, so not sure where he kind of sits in Borthwick's long-term plans. Joe Merchant is on the bench, and Max Malins and Ollie Lawrence are out of the squad altogether. Van Poortvliet has kept his place at 9. There were a lot of calls for Alex Mitchell to come on, because when he came on against France, he did speed up England's ball. But I guess, the Packer obviously been given a chance to redeem himself. I think the same for Van Poortvliet as well. He did struggle in the November test, but he looked pretty good in the first 3 rounds of the Six Nations. So again, maybe for him, maybe last week was just an aberration, and he's going to produce on Saturday. Dan Cole from the bench could win his 100 cap if he come on. He should come on because normally the props get changed. So congratulations to him. Just another note on MacLeod. He's never lost against Ireland. So Ireland are going to have to break that hoodoo if they're going to win the Grand Slam. I think this Ireland team probably are better equipped to cope with his physicality. They cope well with France's physicality, and in the past, especially in the Joe Smith era, that was the way that teams beat Ireland, was just challenge them physically. I think this team now are maybe a bit more physical than the past teams were, so hopefully they can hold out against that. But yeah, Borthwick, he's showing faith in his team and really giving them a shot at redemption there. And we'll see, how they go from here towards the World Cup, depending on obviously the performance and the results against Ireland. But I think, a lot of people are expecting more the performance than the result from them. In terms of overall, then, like, if Ireland win, there's obviously going to be one hell of a party in Dublin. I'll be drinking a few beers here over in Spain as well. And they'll have put down a massive marker, I think, for the Rugby World Cup, showing that they can handle big occasions and big expectations. England, they're obviously looking to restore some pride, and if they come up with a win, that'll be even better for them.